aka the commish. We build empires, not just teams. No guts, no glory, let's get it. Yeah. Yeah. Get it. Let's get it. No guts, no glory, Dynasty territory. Rookie draft, watch me craft my legend story. Trades on the block, watch me level up my roster. Season to season, we the ultimate monster. No guts, no glory, rise up, feed me Maury. Commissioner's crown in this fantasy allegory. Stacking picks, dynasty flicks, never ordinary. League of Champions, welcome to no guts, no glory territory. Draft night live, I'm rocking that snake format. Rookies on the rise like my bars, no slack. Flexing QBs on deck, 3 wideouts getting checks. Bench studs waiting, depths a lethal threat. Trade blocks lit, flip a pick, build a throne. Every move's calculated, chess over checkers tone. Wave of wars wins, they grab the sleeper unknown. Hold the line, watch the pipeline fully grown. Dynasty dreams got that blueprint on lock. Season after season, I'm the talk of the block. No kickers, no DST, pure offense non-stop. And no guts, no glory, we rise to the top. No guts, no glory, Dynasty territory. Rookie draft, watch me craft my legend story. Trades on the block, watch me level up my roster. Season to season, we the ultimate monster. No guts, no glory, rise up, feed me Maury. Commissioner's crown in this fantasy allegory. Stacking picks, dynasty flicks, never ordinary. League of Champions, welcome to no guts, no glory territory. Keep us locked in place, build a dynasty case. Future Hall of Famers locked in, first round grace. PPR, flex finesse, yardage milestones bless. TD dance party when my studs break the press. League safe, lock dollars drop like trophy checks. Weekly high score coins, respect the architect. Discord lit with the chat, strategy connect. No guts, no glory, this is the ultimate sect. Saw the doubters talking, they don't know the grind. We invest in young studs, stacking ballers defined. From the rook to the vet, synergy on my mind. Legacy in the making, watch me redefine. No guts, no glory, dynasty territory. Rookie draft, watch me craft my legend story. Trades on the block, watch me level up my roster. Season to season, we the ultimate monster. No guts, no glory, rise up, feed me Maury. Commissioner's crown in this fantasy allegory. Stacking picks, dynasty flicks, never ordinary. League of Champions, welcome to no guts, no glory territory. Yo, LordSkunk, thanks for the league. Signing off for now. Let's build that legacy. Yay!
We build a dynasty, not just a team. No guts, no glory. Live your fantasy dreams.
No guts, no glory, dynasty domain. Crew is too skunk to make, we own this game. Kramer, Howard, Dr. Swank, rosters on fire. Flying V, Eddie Bantam, take your empires higher. Joe Mama, Chino, C, Green, champions uniting. No guts, no glory territory, we reign supreme tonight.
Draft nights live, snake pick heat. Rookies rising, every selection's elite. Flexing QBs up front, wide receivers cash, big checks. Bench studs, prime debt, diamonds with spec. Trade block blazing, flip picks for the crown. Every move precise, no chance we back down. Waiver wire Wednesday, scoop sleepers unseen. Hold strong, watch this talent machine. Dynasty blueprints lock, legends in the making. Season after season, no faking or mistaking. No kickers, no defense, pure offense, pure thrill. And no guts, no glory, only winners fit the bill. No guts, no glory, dynasty domain. Crew is too skunk to make, we own this game. Kramer, Howard, Dr. Swank, rosters on fire. Flying V, Eddie Bantam, take your empires higher. Joe Mama, Chino, C, Green, champions unite. And no guts, no glory territory, we reign supreme tonight. Keep Keepers locked down, future Hall of Famers rise. PP finesse, milestone bonuses, surprise. TD dance parties when our studs hit the zone. League safe, secure, watch those prize checks roll home. Discord buzzing, strategy on demand. No guts, no glory, we always stand. Doubters talk noise, they don't know our hustle. Stacking young studs, turning potential into muscle. From rookie breath, fresh to vet, season prime. Our legacy's written one draft pick at a time. No guts, no glory, Dynasty domain. Crew is to skunk to Mick, we own this game. Kramer, Howard, Dr. Swank, rosters on fire. Flying V, Eddie Benson, take your empires higher. Joe Mama, Chino, C, Green, champions united. No guts, no glory, territory, we reign supreme tonight. Yo, LordSkunk, respect the crown. Signing off to build that legacy.
Oh, yes, it's me. It's the one and only Skunky D. Welcome to the live stream. Wow, it's been so long since I went live. It was so rusty trying to get everything prepared, trying to get everything set up. First step, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. That's the most important. So if you can, just real quick in the chat, just ping if you can hear me. I would really appreciate that. That's the first step. Let's see. Just anybody in chat, just say if you can hear me. I'd really appreciate it. I just want to make sure that I get the mic set up properly. I would hate to do a 30-minute live stream and not have any audio. So if you could just throw up in the chat real quick. I would really appreciate that. Okay, looks like I tested. Looks like it sounds okay. Yep, looks like it's good. All right. Excited, man. Excited. So here's what we're at. Here's what we're doing. We are going to be, let me update this real quick. Let's replace this with the no guts, no glory badge here. All right, so no guts, no glory. We just finished our very first no guts, no glory. This was our inaugural season. This is our first year of doing the no guts, no glory fantasy football dynasty league. It is a 12-team Superflex dynasty league. It is a $100 buy-in, 2 years up front. And we started with our slow draft last summer, ended up going through the whole season, and we were able to crown champions. We'll get through that in just a minute. Why we're also here is to not only recap the season, look at some of the trades, look at some of the stuff that went down, but it is also to do our rookie draft. So we want to make sure that we, not a rookie draft, but our rookie lottery picks. So the way that we do it, we have an anti-tanking system, is that the bottom 6 teams, we're going to draw them. So we're going to draw names, and that will determine their draft order. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that real quick so we can share that, kind of see what's going on here. So we are going to use the Wheel of Names. Oh, Okay, if you can hear me, I'm just trying to get. I lost my screen share here. I'm not sure what happened to my screen share. So let me see if I can get that back. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It deleted the screen share, but looks like we're back. So we're back on. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. So just do a quick recap of what went down in the league. This is really just for just to look back on and have something here. So let's do a quick recap of the league. So the post game, this is for the 2025 season. As you can see, the standings. Okay, looking at all play, that would be this section over here to the right. If all teams played all teams, what would the record be? So if all teams played all teams throughout the whole 2025 season, South Beach Explorers, Cruz's team, would have won the most number of games. He would have won 123 out of 31. We play against the league medium and, of course, against the league. So I think all that is accounted to that. So he would have won almost 80%. That's pretty impressive. And then coming in second is myself. Just below that with 118 with 36 losses, right a little over 75%. And then so on and so forth. You can see how it kind of drops off and goes down from there. So then the actual rankings, were pretty close to that. I mean, it switches out just a little bit, but Cruz and I tied as far as the record of 24 wins, 4 losses. We both had that. We were pretty much neck and neck. He was my arch rival throughout the whole season. Obviously, he had me a little bit beat on points, as you can see that from the all play record, and then the power rankings. We're still neck and neck. So pretty much neck and neck all the way through. We did go through the playoffs, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But just to go through some of the awards. So the top scorer, of course, South Beach Explorers Cruz. He knew how to do this season. All he knew how to do this season was score points. So leading the league with an impressive 3,378 points. Absolutely amazing. So he was actually the first person in the league to win a payout because he was the points leader for the season. So he got the high points total award, which is $120 out of the pot. So that paid for his first year's buy-in, right? Because buy-in's $100. So he actually made a little bit of money. And then we'll get to the actual playoff rankings here in just a minute, see if he won any more. So bottom of the pile, it's a shame there was no participation ribbons in this league as Keyhill or Pandas propped up the standings with an embarrassing 2,127 points. Now, this could be a double whammy for poor little Pandas, a.k.a. Keyhill. I'm not sure how you say it, but Keyhill. Because technically, even though he was the lowest, we have the anti-tanking system, so it's going to be a lottery draw. Now, he's going to get 30 chances out of that to win, but technically, he could end up with the 6th pick in the draft. So he was a little upset about that. I don't blame him. So we'll see how that plays out here at the end of the stream. Bragging rights, whatever else happens, Sea Green 17 will always have week 14 when they got the biggest win of 2025, dominating Cahill by 233.54 points. Wow. So he had 303 points to Panda's 70 points. Lightning in a Bottle award goes to sometimes the stars align and everything just goes your way, like in week 16 when Pits of Despair Seth Howard, aka S. Howard, lit up the league like a lightning bolt, scoring 319 points, the highest weekly score of the whole season. That's pretty amazing. Now Cruz was running pretty high consistently, get to that 300 mark. But Pits of Despair, Mr. S. Howard was the only one to top it with 319. So pretty good there. We can't look away. What's the opposite of lightning in a bottle? Snail in a tornado, maybe? Whatever it is, that's the only way to describe Key Hill or Pandas in Week 14, who watched their team self-implode with the eye-watering 70 points, the lowest weekly score of the entire season. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if there was injuries there or how it got that low, but it was pretty bad. Hot Streak, your boy, the one and only Skunky D, Skunkadelic All-Stars, was on fire between Weeks 3 and 11, winning 9 matchups in a row. Lucky Run, Pits of Despair, went 18-10 this season, winning 64% of their matchups, but only had a 55% win rate in the all-play standings. So, hey, sometimes it just falls your way. That's fantasy, right? Not so lucky. Chinstrap Penguins had a 44% win rate in the all-play standings, but only went 8-20 this season. Oh, ouch. And then, but he came back with Sharpshooter with a full season accuracy score of 89%. Chinstrap Penguins or Flying V claimed the title of most accurate fantasy player in the league for 2025. So hats off to you, Flying V. And then honorable mentions. Sometimes it's nice to be noticed. So this award is just to say that we see you, Sodak Fighting Pheasants, Mick, H-Town K-Dogs, Kramer, Big Pick Energy, and Dr. Swink, 4-Star Guts, and Eddie Ha, Benz Johnson in Bansom, and Runaway McBride in Joe Mama. So thanks for showing up and being you, and better luck next season, my boys. So back up here to take a quick peek of that. So there's our power rankings for the season. And then we can go in and look at the league analyzer. I thought that was kind of cool too. This is all on fantasypros.com. You can sign up here, link one of your leagues for free. It doesn't cost you anything, so you can go over there and check it out. But here you can see rankings. If we include draft picks, it drastically changes that. You can see Key Hill comes up at the top. South Beach is still up there, though, so I thought this was interesting. South Beach still stays at number 2. And then you see a lot of us, the rest of us, drop down. So he still has some picks there. He still has some picking power there as far as the future drafts. I did mortgage a lot of my draft for to get Bijan and some other key players, but it all paid off. I'll get to that here in a minute. And then let's take a peek at Draft Sharks. Let's see what they got going on over there. And we will look at the league. So the 3-year projections for Draft Sharks comes up with me at South Beach Cruise at the top. So still we're kind of there. We still got H-Town K-Dogs, Seagreens there. So these are all playoff teams. And then you kind of got that middle pack. So they're just kind of fighting it out. But it looks like potentially next year it could be a repeat. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It could be a repeat for me and Cruz. That would be great. Topping the board and then running it back in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. And then you can look at 5-year projections. I don't really know how accurate that's going to be, but and then you can look at it by age. So age-wise, I'm pretty good. So even though I don't have a lot of picks, my age is still decent, I think. Oh, no, I'm on the higher end. Okay. Oh, wow, that goes the wrong way. Okay, fair enough. Positional rankings. Your boy is still number 1. Wow, number 1 overall. Look at that. Listen, they don't call me the draft Jedi for no reason. The majority of my team that went into the playoffs was what I drafted, for the most part. So I think I was probably the highest in the league to having the core team that I drafted. So, and then the 3D value is going to be way high because of all the picks that Key Hill has. So we'll see how that all pans out. And let's pop over real quick to look at, let's see if we can get the right one. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So these are the standings as we ended the season in 2025. You can see that as far as the rankings, it went South Beach, Cruz, and then myself. We were tied. He won by points as far as the standings will go, and then all the way down. Now, if we look at the playoffs, you can see that both myself and Cruz entered the first week, week 15, on a bye. And then we ended up facing Cruz faced C Green, who he ended up defeating, and then I faced Kramer, who really came out strong there towards the end. He really tried to make a push. He did a lot of trades and stuff like that. came out the gate swinging as we went into the playoffs, but ultimately your boy took him. So, and then finally the two Titans came together, and it was just meant to be. If I would have started Chris Godwin, I would have sealed the deal early in the morning, early in the afternoon on Sunday, but I didn't. At the last minute, I switched out him for Michael Pittman. Wow, Phillip Rivers, come on, really? But I put Michael Pittman in, and unfortunately, it didn't work out well. Michael Pittman actually got hurt that game too, so who knows? Maybe if he would have stayed, he would have did more. I don't know. But anyways, he came out. And if I would have just kept Godwin in at that last minute, literally at like 12:58, I replaced Trevor Lawrence, put him in for Josh Allen, which was pretty much a wash there at the end. At the beginning, for the first like 3 quarters of the Josh Allen game, it looks like I was a savant, and I made this amazing move by putting Trevor Lawrence in because he did pretty good. But Josh Allen, being Josh Allen, ended up doing it. He was just a couple points difference from Trevor Lawrence anyway, so it really didn't make that much of a difference. But the key difference was taking out Michael Pittman at that last second and taking out Chris Godwin and putting in Michael Pittman, because Michael Pittman ended up with like 5 points maybe or something like that. I can't remember, but I'll always remember this. Chris Godwin ended up with over 34 fantasy points. So we could have locked that deal up pretty quick. It was a tough break for Cruz. I think Brock Bowers was out. He had Jordan Love. He had Josh Jacobs. So he had a couple players there that just happened. They're all kind of hurt at that time. So fortunately, for him, it didn't go his way. Fortunately for me, I was able to go all the way until Monday night game and then watch Bijan just run wild. So that's what I love about the No Guts, No Glory League, the way that we have the league settings for scoring and things like that. You can literally be down quite a bit on Sunday night, going into Monday. And then if you have a Monday game, I mean, you got a real chance there to be able to pull through and come out and win it. So thankfully I was able to do that, was able to seal the deal. And your boy, the one and only, is number one, the very first champion in our very first season. So it was pretty exciting. It was down to the wire. And it was pretty cool because I think I did 5 of the LordSkunk $5 redraft leagues. I won the first one of that, so I didn't win the other 4. I didn't take the crown in those, but it was pretty cool. I won the first one of that, and then in the Dynasty Baller League, I think we did 4 of those leagues last season as well, and I won the first one of those. So I thought it was pretty cool. So I won the very first No Guts, No Glory, the very first LordSkunk.com redraft, and then the very first Dynasty Baller. And actually, we did a best ball brawl, just a quick one. I actually won that one too. There was like six of those we did. So I didn't win all of them, but it was just kind of cool that I won the first one of every single one of those. So it's kind of neat to look back on that and to kind of see that as we ended out the season. It kind of ended on a pretty cool note. So not winning them all, of course, I'm not going to win all of them, but it was cool that I was able to line up where I won the first of all the different sets that we did last year, all the different formats. So I am going to revamp LordSkunk.com. So we are going to be doing Dynasty Baller, Best Ball Brawl. We got a bunch of really cool leagues formats we're going to be doing. We also are doing a No Guts, No Glory basketball, which is in season right now. We're doing that one. And then we're kicking around the idea of a No Guts, No Glory Dynasty baseball as well. So that may be coming soon. So just make sure you keep an eye on LordSkunk.com. Right now, I think it's just focusing on the $5 redrafts. We have the DynastyBaller.com site. We got a couple other ones, but we're going to kind of put all that together. They're going to live on the LordSkunk.com site, and you'll be able to go there and find leagues. So if you want to go right now and get ahead of the curve, go to LordSkunk.com right now. And then there's a link to sign up for leagues or get on with some type of list or whatever and be able to do that. So, it's a way to be a part of the community. We started a dynasty. No, sorry, not a dynasty, but a best ball. No, we didn't do a dynasty. We did a Dynasty Baller second league, LordSkunk.com, Dynasty Baller FFO2. We launched that today. Within less than 24 hours, we filled that league. So, we fill leagues quick. We have a good community here. A lot of these people I've been in multiple leagues with, and everybody's solid. Everybody shows up. Everybody has a great time. And I like to, just like to connect with the community and, try fun different formats and just have fun, doing fantasy football. So let's take a look now at the trades. I want to just go over that real quick. I thought there were some interesting trades that we had. So we'll pull those up and take a peek. And we're going to just kind of just work our way up from our the first trade we ever did. They just traded some fab. So Bansom and S. Howard, they just traded like 10 fab for 10 fab. So it was just kind of the first trade, just kicked it off and just had a little fun. But then we had our very first trade was a blockbuster, guys. It was absolutely bananas. I think on TikTok and some of the other platforms that I'm on, I did some short form videos, and those ones were like the most viral out of the list. If you could call them viral, they were the most ones because we were talking about first off he took Jahmyr Gibbs. Took Jahmyr Gibbs like third overall. I think it was third. No, fourth. Was it third or fourth? I can't remember. I think third. I think he took Jahmyr Gibbs. But then they ended up trading right after the draft was over. They ended up the very first trade was Brock Bowers, Brashard Smith, running back KC, and then the 2026 first round pick. So right there, first round pick for this coming season for Joe Mama. He traded all of that to Mick for Jahmyr Gibbs. So wow, what a blockbuster. Pretty interesting seeing that. And some of those other players moved a little bit around the league as well as we go up here. But that was our first one. That was our first blockbuster. So I think it was good to highlight. And that was pretty cool. It kind of set the tone for that. So that was on June 23rd. And then also on June 23rd, another big trade was made. So this was from South Beach Explorers Cruz, who's obviously a big Miami fan. He lives in Miami. So he traded for Devon Achane. He traded James Cook, Michael Golden for Devon Achane. Now, ultimately, I think that's probably a pretty good overall trade for both. It really helped out Cruz though, because it got him obviously to the finale and helped him win a bunch of points. And then we come back around to the next one. This is a few days later. We ended up with a Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, who I ended up with later. Some picks for Adam Thielen, George Pickens, and Tyler Warren for another pick. So pretty good trade activity right there out of the gate. Then we had some picks. So this was interesting. So then Bansom traded away James Cook and Chris Olave in a second round pick and picked up 2 first round picks from Mick. So he got Mick's first round and then he got Joe Mama's first round. So very interesting there. They did that pretty quickly there after the draft was over. And then this is the big trade that we did. This was a 3-team trade. Very interesting. So this is kind of just a shocker because you don't usually see 3-team trades very often. So this one happened between Eddie Ha, Cruz, and Flying V. Now this one is pretty interesting. So Eddie ends up with Nick Chubb, Taj Brooks, some random picks there, 4th and 2nd round picks. And then South Beach picks up James Conner and Trey Benson. And then Chinstrap picks up Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Luther Burden. Now, Luther Burden, probably not that time to quite realize, but Luther Burden's a pretty hot commodity right now. So that probably, as we know that James Conner, we know that Benson both kind of got hurt there, right? So that didn't quite pan out. And then Chubb didn't really do anything. Taj Brooks, whatever. I don't think he did much. But probably Rashad White, Sean Tucker did decently. I mean, obviously, we know Bucky, Bucky Irving. I'm getting them all. I'm into basketball now, so now I'm getting my players confused. But Bucky Irving. So I mean, he's obviously the number one. He was out for a little bit, so they got some plays. So that's good. But I think at the end of the day, probably here now, looking back at this, like this was probably the steal right here. That was probably good. Who had the crystal ball to do that deal? That was pretty good. And then we go up to the next one. Aaron Jones, McLaurin. Okay, not too crazy there. And now Kramer had, I think he got him back now, but he's got Jaden Daniels, so it kind of makes sense. He's got the McLaurin Daniels stack, so that made sense. Then we went Sam Darnold for Jacoby Myers, for Rashawn Johnson, Tesla, and a first. So interesting. Then we go up again, Will Howard for a 2nd round pick. So just kind of moving some stuff around there. And I'm just going to kind of go up through some of these because some of these are just depth moves, just some filling some holes, stuff like that. But let's see if we can get up here to. And this one's interesting here. So the Monungai Strange deal because this happened back in July, right? So this happened before the season even started. So Britton Strange, we know towards the end, started to really come on with Trevor Lawrence, and then Monungai started to really gain some share over Swift. Swift got hurt a little bit with the Bears, so that's an interesting one. Now, at that time, you didn't know, right? When they traded, they didn't really know what it was going to be like. Let's go up here. So we got a Drake London trade, Marvin Harrison here. Okay, so here's a big trade that we did. This was probably the perennial like big dog trade. So this happened on August 3rd. Okay, so this is obviously before the season starts. I ended up getting Chris Godwin, Darius Slayton, Bijan Robinson. Right, that was the crown jewel. A third in 27 and a second in 26. I gave up Nico Collins, Isaiah Pacheco, Theo Johnson, Jalen Wright, my first for 26 and my first for 27. So when I did this deal, when I was looking at this deal, when I was putting this deal, just kind of checking at different trade calculators and things like that, I made a huge rookie mistake. I always get Chris Godwin and T. Higgins confused because they're kind of like, they're good. They're both really good, but they're kind of like the 1Bs, for their respective teams. And I always got those confused. So when I was putting everything in the trade calculator, I was putting in T. Higgins, not Godwin, right? And ultimately, I was going back and forth on this deal. We were, I would send an offer, he would counter, I'd send an offer, whatever. We go back and forth countering, and then finally he sent me this deal, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know. But I put it in the calculator. I looked at it. I was definitely overpaying with T. Higgins, thinking it was T. Higgins. Definitely overpaying, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I want to secure Bijan. I really want to lock in that. That RB2. I had Jonathan Taylor already, so really wanted to lock in that RB2 and get Bijan. I thought he was kind of like the crown jewel to me of Dynasty, right? And and it all worked out, man. So after it happened, I realized, oh my goodness, I got Chris Godwin, who's like on IR, and he's not even playing, or he's not even going to play much. But it ended up working out. Now, fortunately, it would have been an absolute amazing story if I would have played Godwin and Bijan there at the championship game, because then I would have won by 40 points or whatever, but or 60 points, whatever. But all good, all worked out. Everything worked out, and I'm happy. And thank you, Benson, for that trade. And then as we go up a little bit, you can see just some depth pieces here, just kind of some pieces moving back and forth. So very active league, very active in trading, very active in the chat. All that was pretty good. Here you go, another big one: Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Jalen McMillan, Ted McMillan. There's a couple firsts for Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay, wow. Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze. All right. But you can see there's quite a few. Like James Cook moved a lot within our league. He was one of the ones that kind of moved all over the place. This was one here, interesting. So we did BTJ, right, in a first, and he got, and Dr. Swink got Justin Jefferson. So, I think both of them had a bad year last year, so there's not really much you can say about that. But if BTJ can pull it together with Trevor Lawrence and what they got going on there, and he's got a first out of that could be really good. It's going to really come down to, is JJ going to get a good quarterback or good quarterback play, really, out of Minnesota? That's probably going to be the key there. You got another trade here. So now we're starting to move in. As we get closer to playoffs, you just start people starting to go all in, try to do whatever they possibly can, to really seal up any holes or any issues that they have within the league. So you can see here, Cruz knows that it's me and him neck and neck all season, so he tries to get some depth. There's Zach Charbonnet. Pitts picks up Mac Jones and Devin Neal. And then H-Town K-Dogs Kramer started to get really aggressive too on trades. He wanted to really make a push towards the playoffs. You started to see they made some moves. Again, big trade right here. So Keyhill or Pandas was trying to sell me literally every day, trying to sell me Rico Dowdle for my first. like every single day. He's like sending me something, He's probably doing the same thing to H-Town K-Dog's Kramer. And I was just like, nah, man, like I'll give you a second for the guy, but that's it. And then they ended up doing that deal. So I was like, okay. At least I didn't overpay, so I didn't feel bad about it. And then here was my move. This was my tactical move. While everybody, I felt at this point, and don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying from my view, everybody's kind of throwing stuff against the wall to see what they could get to stick, trying to do whatever they can to use whatever calculator or site they probably use to do power rankings or whatever, trying to get them to move up. I really wanted to be strategic in that. I was throwing some wild stuff out there too. Nothing was sticking, which was good. It all happened. It all worked out for a reason. But I was like, okay, who can I really identify? Who can I target? How can I find a really good trade partner? So at this point, I'm starting to mature as a Dynasty player and really trying to be more strategic in my trades and not just throw stuff out there wildly and just see what happens. Don't get me wrong, I still did that too, but I really want this one. I want to be strategic on. So I saw that Eddie Ha had Pat Mahomes, right? So I figured, hey, okay, he's a bottom. He's a rebuild guy. He's not a contender. Let me go work with him. So I offered him the Xavier Worthy, threw in my third, threw in my second in 2028, and threw in my third for 2027. I picked up T. Higgins and Jalen Warren. I really wanted that running back. I wasn't going to get a James Cook. I wasn't going to get an Achane or anybody like that. It was just nobody. First off, none of the people I had those were going to trade with me, and then secondly, I didn't want to give up enough to be able to do that. I wanted to keep my core intact. So I was able to facilitate that. I didn't need a blockbuster wide receiver. I didn't need a blockbuster running back. I just needed kind of that 1.5 tier or 2 tier, or B tier, however you want to say it, B plus tier wide receiver, and I got that in those, and they ended up getting me through. So that all actually worked out really good in my favor. I threw some other wild stuff out there. Fortunately, people didn't bite on it. They didn't take it. I'm happy that they didn't, and everything worked out. So you can see they really started to push trades here, like CMC is going because he's a contender. This is a rebuild. You could just see kind of how everything just started flying off the shelves. It was like a fire sale here towards the end. So, with contenders, and then the bottom six, just kind of trading back and forth. So here you go. Here's another one. Pits of despair. That's how I was trying to really make that push. So he picks up Derrick Henry. Chinstrap Penguins makes sense. He gets Blake Corum and 2026 first. So worked out good for him. Because he can get that future capital, and then he could dump a lot of his older guys on these contenders that need them. I mean, it's a good thing they needed them to try to compete in the playoffs. So the very last trade was Aaron Jones for Booty, whatever, the guy from New England. So that was the last trade. And that's how the season ended. And it was kind of crazy, man, because the trade deadline was coming down to the wire. And I thought, man, I was throwing out some wild stuff. I'm like, I know some people got to be throwing out wild stuff. And I was like, I can't, this is where they're going to get me, right? I was like, this is where they're going to get me. They're going to get me this night. And I just remember like checking my phone. Anytime I get like an alert on my phone, I'm like checking it. And it was, and nothing happened. It ended up being super quiet last night. No crazy trades went down. And I felt really confident going in, through the playoffs. So, obviously it worked. I ended up winning those, so it was great. But just a couple stats here. Look at this. My draft picks. My picks at quarterback was Josh Allen. Okay, first off, Cruz is never going to forgive himself. He got the number 1 pick. I got the number 2 pick. He blew my mind. I thought for sure I was going to have to go Jaden Daniels because I thought he was going to pick Josh Allen. So then I was going to go Jaden Daniels. So I was like, throughout the whole process leading up to the draft, I thought that's where I was going to go. I wanted to target Dak, and I wanted to target Trevor Lawrence. So I was going to be like Jaden Daniels, Dak, T-Law, and then I was going to pick up like way down. I was going to pick up Kirk Cousins because you just never know, right? And so ended up he picked up Jamar Chase, and I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. Like it never popped in my mind I was going to get Josh Allen. So I got Josh Allen. So Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Dak. And then we carried Kirk Cousins for quite a while until we ended up dumping him towards the NFL, right after the NFL trade deadline. But look at that, most fantasy points by a quarterback. Look at that, T-Law, my boy right there. And then, of course, look at this, Bijan. Look at that. So Bijan was my only real core starter through the majority of the season that I didn't draft. Pretty much everybody else that was a starter for me throughout the majority of the season was somebody I drafted. So Josh Allen I drafted, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, as I mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, Mark Andrews was my tight end, Mason Taylor I kind of had as a backup tight end in there, and then my wide receivers were DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, AJ Brown, right? So we had kind of a rough little start with them. But I think, man, if some of those guys get traded, DJ Moore could get traded, AJ Brown could get traded, they could all land a good spot. I'm still sitting pretty good for next season. So we'll see what happens there. And then now I think it's time to get to that wheel. I think now it's time to get to the wheel of names. So first off, I want to appreciate, thank you for everybody that has stayed on the stream. I know it had a little technical difficulty there in the beginning. It got a little shaky. It's been a while. Shoot, it's been probably 6 months maybe since I streamed last. I don't know, something like that, 4 or 5 maybe. But it feels good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to share some of those updates with you. And I definitely would love to see you in some of the LordSkunk.com leagues. So make sure you check that out. Go over there and sign up for leagues. I'll shoot you an email once the new leagues come out, or if you put in your sleeper name, I'll shoot you a message with an invite. So let's go over and look at the wheel of names. Here we go. Okay, again, just to recap how this works. Okay, how this works. So the 12th place team has got 30 names on this board. The 11th place team has got 25 names, so on and so forth. Okay, so I got to keep a little notepad over here, something I'm not going to remember who's what. So let me pull that up, and we will get these names going. So we're going to go with the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth pick in the 2026 No Guts, No Glory draft. All right, so let's spin this bad boy. Oh, sorry, I can't do that yet. I got to randomize. So you're going to see me right here. I'm gonna shuffle it once, 2, and 3 times. So they all been shuffled. Okay, and now we can click to spin. So here we go. The very first pick in the No Guts, No Glory 2026 draft is going to be, oh my goodness, I saw it roll on Keyhill's name. Oh my goodness. And then it went right to Dr. Swink. Dr. Swink is going to be picking first. Well, who has this pick? I don't even know if he has this pick. But Dr. Swink, so whoever has this pick is going to be going first. So Dr. Swink is going to be going first. So wow. So we're going to remove all of his entries from the board. And I think, actually, because they're not the same. Because they're not the same. Okay, well, that's fine. We just spin again. We know we got Swink, so if it hits him again, we just spin again. So here we go. This is going to be for picking second in the No Guts, No Glory rookie draft. Picking second is going to be Swink. Okay, just remove that. Roll again. So if it rolls on anybody whose name has already been picked, oh my goodness, Swink is the luckiest dude on the planet. Swink, you go buy a lottery ticket tonight. Go buy a lottery ticket tonight, dude. This is crazy. Looks like Eddie Ha's going to be picking second. Wow, Eddie Ha is going second. All right, so Eddie Ha will be picking second in the draft. And here we go. So if it hits on Swink or Eddie Ha, we just skip them and go again. So this will be for the third pick in the 2026 draft. So this anti-tanking, Swink can get, geez, Swink is the luckiest guy alive. So how this works is the bottom 6 teams. So there should be no tanking. We don't want any tanking. We want every game to be competitive, and that is part of the rules as well. So that's also a part of just the rules of the league. Keyhill finally got. So Keyhill's gonna be picking third. Pandas is going third. Wow. Okay, Pandas. Yeah, you're not too bad there. I know he really wanted the one-on-one, but he might have it actually. I don't know. Maybe he traded Swink. I don't know. I have no idea. So let's see. Let's see who's going to be going fourth in the No Guts, No Glory draft. Flying V is going to be going fourth. Flying V. He's going forth in the draft. All right. Yeah, let's remove him, and we'll spin it again. 5th and 6th. All right, remove that one. Bansom. Bansom will be picking 5th. So we know who's going to be last. But we'll keep spinning until we get him. Let's just see when he would have popped up. And I got to update my little note here. All right. Spin it again. Keo's kicking himself right now. Pandas is kicking. He's like, why my name popping up now? Why didn't it pop up first? All right, so we know it's going to be Mick. Let's just see how long it takes to get Mick. Let's just see. Come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. Big money. Big money. Oh, we were so close to getting Mick. Come on, Mick. You can do this. Come on, buddy. Wow. Nope. That's the wheel of fate, boys. That's the wheel of fate. All right, last spin. If not, we're just going to give him a gimme. Oh, so close there. All right, so Mick is going to be picking 6th. So congratulations, Dr. Swink. He is going to be picking first. His pick is first. I don't know who has it. He probably cheered it away. But Dr. Swink is first. Eddie Ha is second. Keyhill is third. Flying V is fourth. Bansom is 5th. And then Mick is 6th. Now, let's do this real quick before we go on. Let's just look and kind of see how the rankings, how that lined up. Okay. Okay, so in a traditionally, in the way that this would be without the anti-tanking, Keyhill would have picked first, so he's actually picking 3rd, so he's 3 spots up. Eddie Ha is picking right, actually where he should have been, because he's going to pick 2nd. If he did it traditionally, he would be there. Chinstrap Penguins, Flying V would have been 3rd. He's actually 4th, so that's not a huge difference there. Keyhill is the biggest one. Pandas is the biggest one, dropping from obviously the last place to 3rd. Dr. Swink, he is 9th place. He ends up getting first. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, man. Everybody knew it was anti-tanking going into the season. That's the way we set it up. That's the way when the question was asked in the very beginning that I laid it all out for everybody. So it is what it is. So Flying V is going to go 4th. So technically he just dropped down one. And then Bansom. He's picking right where he should have picked, and Mick's picking right where he should have picked. So the only real person that really I would say probably was super detrimental to was Keyhill Panda's last place. I mean, truly you could see for the points for that he was the lower ranked team. But that's what we knew. We knew going into it. You got to build that strong team. You got to build a strong team in the draft. You got to build a strong team through trades. You got to build a strong team through waiver wire. Whatever it might be, you got to be able to go out and work it. You can take a middling team or a lower end team, and you could definitely move them into the top 6 if you are savvy enough in trades and movements and things like that. So it comes down always first to the draft foundation. Always comes down first to build that strong foundation, and then from there, obviously trades and keep an eye on the waiver wire and just making moves. And sometimes holding players, man. Sometimes it's just holding them. Sometimes you might think like, oh well, I'm going to sell them now or trade them off now, whatever. Sometimes you just need to hold. I had a lot of offers that were really good, throughout the season for some of my top tier players. But I held, man. I held on to them. And you can see right here, Dak Prescott, Jalen Warren, Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Mark Andrews, Bijan Robinson, DJ Moore, and Trevor Lawrence. So let's look at this just right here. This is my last team that went into the championship finals. This is what I put all my trust in. This is the team I trusted to go into the finals. Dak Prescott, I drafted. Jalen Warren, I did a trade right there at the end, right before the playoffs, right before the trade deadline. I did a trade for him. Jonathan Taylor, drafted. A.J. Brown, drafted. T. Higgins, again, he was with part of that Warren trade. Pittman, I drafted. Mark Andrews, I drafted. Bijan was my big blockbuster before the season started. DJ Moore, I drafted. And T. Law, I drafted. So the majority of my team, so 70+% or 70% of my team, were people that I drafted. Now, Josh Allen, obviously, I put him out that last game. It could have went either way. It really didn't matter. You see, it's pretty 37, 38. Didn't really end up making much difference. But Josh Allen, I drafted. Jalen Wright, I drafted. I traded, and then I ended up getting back anyways. So I don't know how you want to chalk that one up. Ollie Gordon was a trade I did. Rashad White was picked up from the waiver wire. Tate Bigsby. I'm pretty sure Tate Bigsby I drafted. Chris Godwin was a part of that Bijan deal. Romeo Dobbs I picked up off waivers, I believe. Parker Washington I picked up off waivers. Thank you for that. I think it was Dr. Swink that dropped him, or Joe Mama. I can't remember, but thank you. And then Jatavion Sanders I drafted. Mason Taylor I drafted. Luke McCaffrey I drafted. Isova I drafted. Gunnar Helm and Isaiah Bond all were draft picks. Or I think I might have picked Isaiah Bond up off the waiver actually. But anyways, all those were my majority of this team was drafted. So the core foundation I think is drafting. If you can get a good solid draft in, really build around your core and build it around who you think is going to get you to the playoffs. I think that's the key. I see some people kind of go in and they do like the people they think they're going to be able to trade, or they're going to stack running backs. They're going to stack whatever. I knew I wanted to go in and get. I knew I wanted to go in and get 4 quarterbacks. That was my key. I wanted to get 4 tight ends, and then I just built it out from there. So, and obviously I leaned heavily towards wide receiver here, but ended up making up for that by getting Bijan. So that's kind of how it all panned out. But that was my my season, and I hope you guys follow along with this. Hope you stick with the journey. No Guts, No Glory basketball is doing great. No Guts, No Glory baseball is potentially going to happen. We'll see. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go over to LordSkunk.com or NoGutsNoGloryLeague.com. Sign up. There's a link to sign up for leagues. DynastyBaller.com you can go to. But we do have leagues going right now, and we fill fast. Literally this morning, I created that second Dynasty Baller League for football, and it was filled within probably less than really 12 hours, but I said less than 24, but I think it was probably 12. So they fill fast. We got good people in the league. A lot of community members. So if you're looking for good fantasy football leagues without crazy buy-ins, usually our best ball brawls are $10 buy-in. Dynasty ballers are $20 buy-in. Some of our other leagues are as low as $5 buy-ins. We just like to have fun, play fantasy football together and do it in a good community. So appreciate you watching. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Really appreciate that. And I will see you guys